So it's difficult for me to try and articulate it because I have the revelation. I understand it internally, but I can't put it into words.
What's that?
The realization that we are not a spirit or we are not a soul, but that we are spirit, like God is spirit. So it's a theological debate of whether the indefinite article should be there in front of the word spirit or pneuma or ruach in the Hebrew.
Yeah.
So it's obviously a debate whether it should be there or not. So personally, I believe it shouldn't be there because when Jesus said God is spirit, some translators translated to say God is a spirit. But the way I see it is, if you say God is a spirit, you are immediately limiting him to a lower reality where he is ancillary to something greater. Okay. For example, this is why the New Agers would buy this, immediately, is because they believe the concept that, we are energy. We are not a energy or the energy. We are energy.
Yeah.
So much in the same way, but obviously, we're not moving into the lane of New Age. But when you understand that from that concept, or that when you have that understanding that Jesus said God is spirit. Okay?
Right. Yes.
So sometimes it would appear as though I'm contradicting myself, where I say man is actually in the mind of God, in the perspective of God, man is a singularity, because God is not limited or restricted to a dimensional reality or time, space, locality, distance. Everything, all those things are factors that we are subject to because we are in the lowest state of reality. And that is why the Bible communicated it in a way in three parts, that man is spirit, soul and body, as in 1 Thessalonians 5:23. But that is why the Bible says the mystery that was hidden before the ages is Christ in us, the hope of glory. The hope of glory.
Yeah.
So Christ in us is moving in a direction towards a hope of glory. So that hope of glory is the complete unveiling of God's original intention for man.
Yes.
Which is in a complete singularity, a being that exists in some type of realm, whether it is another time dimension or another time reality, that does not operate and function according to this one, because we are stuck in linearity. Yesterday was yesterday, today is today, tomorrow is tomorrow. So according to our reality, our limitation of two-dimensional, three-dimensional, we work according to a linear concept.
Yes.
So the Bible had to communicate the understanding of the anatomy of man in a linear concept. 1, 2, 3. Spirit, soul, and body. Not that you are a spirit, not that you are a soul.
But that you are all of that in one.
That's right. But this reality, this revelation is moving towards something. As Ephesians 1:11 says, Christ is going to gather all things together on earth and under the earth in him.
Do you think that God is preparing us for a revival, that people are not able to comprehend right now? Do you think that he's preparing us for that? Because there's a lot of people that's moving out of the mindset of the church.
That's right.
And obviously church is not going to look the same way that it did like a few years ago.
That's right. Exactly. That is why you had the dream where Jesus invited you into a very intimate gathering, and he said to you, this is the 10th realm. So it was a welcoming into some greater reality of Christian experience. That is why I firmly believe the Lord told me 2 years ago that the next movement, and I believe the last movement, is that of the mystic Christians, because it is about deep, intimate relationship. It's not about receiving a message from a being in heaven. It's actually interacting, communicating, and getting a deeper understanding of that being, where he comes from, what his function is, much like we see with these guys like Micah Turnbow and Justin Paul Abraham, Ian Clayton, etc.
Yeah.
These guys have been branded as lepers in mainstream Christianity because they move in a type of realm or dimension of Christian spirituality that in most cases we cannot gather enough Bible scriptures to create a doctrine to say, oh, this is theologically sound.
Yes,
You
yes.
see? But theology kills intimacy with God.
I think so too.
Theology kills revelation. It kills
so.
Experience.
Yes, I think so too.
Yes.
Because if God lives inside of you, then it means that, you know, the creator of the world lives inside of you. So there is so much more to, when it comes to having a doctrine, living according to a doctrine. You literally have to like understand who lives inside of you.
Exactly.
And express the person that lives inside of you.
Yes.
By forming a relationship with them and understanding what it is that's operating through you.
Yes.
And I think that obviously people is going to get confused when they start to see certain things, like you might be doing something or saying something that people aren't used to, and because they can't comprehend that, they're going to label it.
Yes.
And they're going to like put it aside and say, we don't understand this because this doesn't come out
Yes.
of the Bible. But I think that's one of the things that really irritates me a lot, you know, with these people that keeps on wanting to expose
That's right.
demons, and they don't even know that relationship with God.
They need to get understanding first.
Yes.
Because what happens, you get a lot of these youngsters, especially
What
in
if
America.
you end up calling God a demon because you don't understand
Precisely.
God? You know, there's just
or
so
a
many
being from heaven that you call as
Yes.
unclean or deceptive. You don't know.
Yes.
So these youngsters, they come out of New Age and they dabble in witchcraft, and all of a sudden they become YouTube hits in the Christian world, and all of a sudden they're Mr. and Mrs. Know-it-alls. So now everything's New Age, everything's demonic, because they were redeemed. They've freshly been delivered from that, and thank God they found the Lord, they found the truth, and they've fallen in love with the Bible, which is great. But now everything that seems and sounds and appears and feels like what they came out of, they feel now they have the absolute. They are the ones that must warn everybody, oh, this is deception. But they don't actually have understanding. They were operating in the wrong realm.
Yeah.
Where we have mystics that have been walking the spiritual journey for decades, who understand the things of astrology and zodiac signs and
Yes.
interdimensional beings and creatures and energy systems and cherubic energy structures, systems, ancient angelic technology, all these things.
Yeah.
So they look at this and they say, oh, New Age.
Yeah.
They don't actually understand what they're talking about.
Exactly.
They think they did, but they don't. They actually did not. They were in a very shallow realm of that. You know?
Yeah.
So getting back to the whole spirit, soul and body thing, it sounds like I'm contradictory it sounds like I'm contradicting myself when I say that man is made up of 3 parts: spirit, soul and body. But in a greater reality or a higher time reality, where which I believe we're approaching, where we are going to reach a place of singularity. That is why Jesus cannot come back, or when he comes back,
We must be spotless.
this earth realm has to be completely recreated, because it cannot contain, it's incompatible to a being that is living in a reality of singularity. Enoch has gone straight past us. He fast forwarded all the way to the end of time, and then he entered into a reality that we cannot comprehend with our finite mind, because we are stuck in a lower dimension where our mind assimilates according to a linear concept.
Yeah.
Okay, the patriarchs, the saints, had resurrected with Jesus, and they walked around the city. Where are they? They are existing in a state of singularity, and we cannot merge with this revelation or reality or realization until Jesus comes back and he makes all things new.
Oh yeah.
You see?
Absolutely.
And this is why they have the ability to function and operate in different spiritual bodies, because they are living in a higher plane of reality. So, are we spirit, soul, and body? In this realm we are. But
Yes.
in that reality or that realm that we are moving towards, the combination
one.
of all things, We are a perfect singularity. That is why the spirit cannot touch or feel us, because we are separated. Okay? We cannot interact with them in a physical way because they are separated from us. But in that reality,
Maybe
it's all merged into unison. You see?
Yes. But
So man, in God's eyes, intention was always intended. The perspective of man in God's perspective is a complete oneness of entity. And we cannot use that same, we cannot apply that same frame of thought to understanding to God, because God is God. We are still the created. Even though God is spirit, we are spirit, not a spirit. Remove the indefinite article, we are spirit. But God is still God. So God can still exist in three parts in the reality or the realm of singularity because He's God.
yeah.
We cannot. We are the created. But we are spirit. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. What you're saying. So what if you get someone that has, what do you call someone that is in this realm, and they see angels, they can touch angels, they can touch Jesus, and
Okay.
what do you call them? Because
We have to understand from what side of reality is it being initiated from. They are the ones that are initiating it because they are existing in a higher plane of reality. So they can manipulate the fabric of our reality to suit theirs. So in actual fact, they are touching us, and because they are touching us, we immediately then are able to touch them.
don't you think it's because
you follow
they
what
are
I'm saying?
more sensitive to one part of who we are, since you put it that way?